Yo, what's up guys? NinjaNick333 here, back with another round of the Kirwan's Game Store League Cup, Catskill, New York, from about a week before Philly Regionals. So everybody's deck is still bad, because nobody knows how to play the game during post-rotation yet, until deck lists that are good come out from North American Regionals. There was a couple regionals that you could base decks off of, but the first one was just pretty straightforward. Everybody's playing bad lists, because they all had Tate and Lisa, and other weird stuff in them. And then the second one, just everybody was playing Buzzwole. So it's really hard to find the variety of decks that are good in preparation for Philly regionals. I'm recording this, of course, after Philly, when I got 18th with Zarkarb. Thankfully, I had friends who solved the format for me, so they could just hand me a deck. And I didn't really have to think about it, because I was going in with Rayquaza. I'm slightly off camera right now, off to the side. Proceeding to 2-1 a Zark Greninja deck, because they bricked game 3 and I bricked game 2, because that's how Pokemon works. So as you can see, we have Jamie Faye on the left, and this kid on the right. I don't know his name, because he's new to me. Jamie is playing Beast Box with the Stakatakas, the metal version. It's pretty good. And then this kid on the right is playing Rayquaza. Rayquaza is like BDIF going into this tournament. This is literally the day after everybody finds, like this is during the regional where Buzz Garbshrine does super well, and Buzz Weavile like comes right out of nowhere and takes the event by storm. So all of my friends decided to switch to Buzz Weavile. And I didn't, because I was too lazy to find my Weaviles, so I played Rayquaza, and I cried, because I hit Weavile 3 times, and you just don't beat that unless you're really lucky. So Jamie is the son of James Faye, who you saw on round 1 of my League Challenge. If you did not see the League Challenge videos from a few days ago, check out round 1. His father would be playing on the right with Zarkarb. Very similar list to mine, just a couple cards off. Jamie happens to have the Fae bad luck in his blood, so I'm going to assume at some point during the match he's going to dead draw. And as you can see, this kid, he uses Stormy Winds, right? He discards Vikavolt and Energy Recycler, and that's huge. Like, you don't want to discard Energy Recycler this early. You need it. Like, if your opponent takes a knockout, you need the Energy Recycler at some point in the game. Energy Recycler is like such a good card. You usually only play it as a 1-of, sometimes a 2-of, but like you only really need one, so you just want to make sure you never discard it. With Rayquaza, you don't really want to use Stormy Winds in the Vikavolt version too often, unless you like absolutely have to that turn to take a knockout. Because of the fact that you can just mill all your rare candies and stuff away, and that's exactly the kind of thing that he's doing. He's just using Stormy Winds blindly in order to try to get energy in play without even having energy in the discard pile. I would say it would be okay, because you know you're going up against like probably a Stakataka and you need to do extra damage. So I don't mind using Stormy Winds during this particular like deck matchup, right? But the fact that he didn't even have an energy in his discard pile already, so he could potentially whiff it if he didn't mill one, I just wouldn't have done it on the first turn. I would have just held the Rayquazas in my hand and hoped that I got an Ultra Ball or something the next turn, if I was really dead set on using the Stormy Winds. Otherwise, I would have just benched it to no effect. And as you can see, Jamie gets the Ultra Space out. He plays Cynthia. He gets a whole bench loaded up. He's got 3 Poipoles in play and 2 Stakatakas. He's reducing damage by 20 because of the Stakatakas now. Reduces the Ultra Beast's damage taken by 20. It does reduce on itself. It does stack. Hence the name Stakataka, because he stacka and he attacka. You ever see that meme where it's like, they protect, they attack, but most importantly, so the Stakataka, right? So he's like, he protect, he attack, but most importantly, he assembly GX. I don't know how to finish that meme. Somebody finish that meme for me, and just like post it in Hey Font or something, or no, Verbank. Post it in Verbank for me, would you? Thanks. I'm sure somebody already made one, I just didn't see it. Alright, so as we can see, we got some energies going down on this Rayquaza on the bench. We got some Cynthia action going on. He's going to draw 6 cards. Looks like he does play 2 Energy Recycler, so that's cool. Because I did see him discard the one, and he has one in his hand now, so that's cool. So I guess that's not as relevant, the fact that he milled one. I think he did mill a Vikavolt as well, maybe? I don't know. I forgot what his discard is. I watched like 2 minutes into the game just to test to make sure that my recording is still working, and then I just started over from scratch to, yeah, so, and it looks like he just attaches a lightning energy onto his bench for turn and passes. If that was a grass energy, you 100% attach it to your active and Tempest GX to try to draw 10 cards and get the rare candy Vikavolt, because it looks like he might not have anything super relevant right now. Unless he has something like that he like dead set wants to keep in his hand, like you Tempest. But unfortunately he didn't even have the grass, so he didn't even have the option. And you see Jamie here, he's going to Tate and Lisa. Tate and Lisa I think is a little better in a deck like this where you have Stakataka boy, and he's just fat, and you got to move him sometimes. Because you can like Guzma one up and then just sit on it for a few turns to try to get caught back up in the game. So Tate and Lisa can actually switch your Pokemon. So that's cool. I really don't like Shuffle Draw 5. I think it's bad. But, I mean, that's like one of our best options in the standard format at the moment. We have Lily, we have Cynthia, and then like next best after that is like Copycat, and Judge, and Tate and Lisa. So it's like, in a deck that can use the switching effect like this, I think Tate and Lisa is okay. And as you can see, he gets the metal energy, he gets the metal frying pan, he gets another Stakataka, and he bops him, right? So the metal frying pan, I'm going to use this frying pan as a drying pan. The metal frying pan only works on metal Pokemon, but it removes their weakness and reduces damage they take by 30. So I would much rather have that be Choice Band in this deck, because with Beast Energy Choice Band you can hit 180. Yeah, but he plays that. So anyway, if he does get a Stakataka loaded up at some point in the game, it's reducing by, it can reduce up by, to a maximum of 70, 90 if he's going against something Psychic type, because it resists Psychic. But you just see this guy, he draws this Grass Energy for turn, so he uses the Tempest and draws 10. So you know he's going to get at least 1 Rare Candy Vikavolt, right? If he gets 2 Rare Candy Vikavolts, he basically just wins the game. That's kind of how Rayquaza works. If you Tempest into double Rare Candy, double Vikavolt, you win. If you only draw into 1, you have a game where you're favored. And if you don't draw into it, you lose. Like, that's just how Rayquaza works. It's, like, pretty, like, just kind of straightforward. Jamie is going to play another Tate. No, he's going to play, I think, Copycat or Tate and Lisa. I don't know. All right. 2, 3, 4. Tate and Lisa, because he only has 4 cards in his hand after playing down the energy. And he's going to attach to a Naganadel on his bench, and he's going to take the 2-shot knockout on that Rayquaza. So that's really cool. It looks like this kid top decks Rare Candy, and he plays a different Rare Candy, so now you know that he has double Rare Candy, double Vikavolt, right? Because he top decked the League promo one, and then he plays a secret rare one. So as long as he has like Ultra Ball or something, and there it is. There's Ultra Ball. So now he's going to get another Vikavolt, and he's going to Rare Candy Vikavolt again. He's going to be able to Strong Charge twice, attach for turn, Stormy Winds, and he's just going to blow Jamie up into the next dimension. R.I.P. Jamie Faye. So there it is. There's the Vikavolt. Super unfortunate for Jamie. And there it is. I guess it's an old art of Rare Candy. I thought I saw the new one. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he had 3 Rare Candy in his hand and it doesn't matter. So he attaches for turn. He's using the first Stormy Winds. 3, 6, 9. So he's hitting 180 now, which is reduced by 30 from Stakatakas to 150. So essentially just count 1 less energy when you're calculating damage. Makes it easier on everybody. Now he's thinking about what he's going to do. Maybe he's thinking about using Energy Recycler or something. if he still has it. He might have discarded the second energy recycler with Tempest, which would have been super bad. Okay, so he's going to Cynthia. So he's actually Cynthiaing and Grass Energy back into his deck, because it looks like he had one in his hand, and he already attached a Lightning for turn. There he goes. He's shuffling up. Gonna draw a fresh hand of 6 cards. See what he gets. He gets Mysterious Treasure. He gets Full Art Guzma. Yeah, boy. Guzma. The man, the myth, the legend. Thinks he's all gangsta. So he's hitting 150 right now. He's going to use the second Strong Charge. Which is actually, if he gets the full 2 energy off of this, he's going to actually have exact knockout. So there's the 2 energy. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, so he's hitting 240. Stakatakas are reducing by 30. So that's 210. Naganadel has 210. So it's going down to a dragon break or whatever it's called. I don't know. Jamie's getting his poopy pushed in. It's a little unfortunate. So there you go. He takes 2 prizes, goes down to 4. Naganadel goes down into the discard pile. Jamie's considering what he wants to promote. He's probably just going to promote he's going to promote his other Naganadel, because I don't think he has Beast Ring. Nah, he doesn't have Beast Ring. So if he did have Beast Ring, I mean, he even has the Duskmane Necrozma in his hand too. That thing's pretty spicy. I don't know how well Duskmane works in the deck. I really like it for the GX attack though, because you can GX and then the next turn you can knock out with the other attack. So that's pretty cool. He Ultra Spaces for another Stakataka, and now he's going to Copycat, and he's going to draw a ton of cards, because this kid used the Tempest the other turn, right? So this guy, he's going to draw like 6 or 8 or whatever cards, like 7 or 8 cards, I think. Like, Copycat's good. I'm surprised people don't play Copycat more. Like, I understand why they don't. Like, it's just not reliable as a draw supporter compared to something like Cynthia, or even Tate and Lisa. You always are guaranteed to draw 5. There's a lot of decks that just overly rely on a Raguru, like the Buzzgarb Shrines, so Copycat doesn't really do too much against them. But if you go against something like Zoroark and they have like 15 cards in their hand, you go, yo, I'm gonna Copycat. You just draw 15 cards and you're like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And here you can see him get the Beast Ring. So he's gonna want a Beast Ring to that Stakataka boy. The one that already has the energy on it, the one that already has the Metal Frying Pan on it. Yeah, so there it goes. So this kid is going to read the Stakataka because he has no idea what it does besides the ability. He has no idea what the attacks do. The attacks are Gigaton, Stomp, or something for like 3 energy, it does 120. Then the other one, Assembly GX, does 50 for each prize card you already took. So if you've taken 4 prize cards from 2 GX knockouts already, you can then hit for 200 and take your last GX knockout and win the game. So that's kind of how this deck works, is you kind of 2-shot with the Naganadels until you get down to 4 prizes, and then you like Beast Ring, Assembly GX, and you win. So that's generally the game plan. Unfortunately, there's not much else you can do. So he hard retreats into, because he knows that 3, 6, 9. Yeah, so this kid still has enough energy in play for a Rayquaza to Dragon Break for a knockout on the Naganadel. So he hard retreats into the Stakataka because that means that this kid has to attach at least 1 more energy. Unfortunately, he does have 2 strong charges, so he still has the ability to get 1 more energy in play in order to get through the Metal Frying Pan. But unfortunately, as you can see, he just had it in hand, so Salt in the Wound. R.I.P. Jamie. And he still has 2 strong charges left, so this guy can get like 50 energy into play. Like, that's insane. Like, Rayquaza is good. Like, it just runs through things when it works. Much more consistent than something like Bulu, and it just like plows through once it gets going. So strong charge number 1, strong charge number 2. He's just going to put 1 lightning in with each because he has no grass left. I don't really see any way Jamie can come back from this game at this point. Like, Jamie's played it beautifully, but, like, just Rayquaza is just too fast, too furious. They're just calculating the damage a second time. Stakataka has 180, reduced by 40 and 30 because of the Stakataka abilities, and the Metal Frying Pans effectively makes the HP 250. This kid is hitting a bajillion. He's hitting like 300 or something. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he's hitting 330. So the reduction doesn't matter at all. Even if you knock him out, he's still hitting a metric butt ton. So unfortunately, that's kind of the game. I wish the Metal Frying Pan would work on the Naganadel. Unfortunately, it only works on Metal Pokemon. It would be really cool if it worked on literally any other Pokemon. But unfortunately, only Metal. So, and then he Dragon Breaks or whatever, and then that's the game. Alright, so that's game 1. This cup is best 2 out of 3 for the Swiss rounds. They tend to always like to do best 2 out of 3 here, which is kind of cool. They start their event early at like 10 o'clock, so you can be done with the Swiss rounds by 4 at the latest after best 2 out of 3, and then still have time for top cut before you go home. It's still an entire day of Pokemon, but I mean, like, you're going to have fun in the first place, right? So why wouldn't you want just more games over the course of the time? So that's why I'm all for League Cups that do best 2 out of 3. Unless they're far away from me, and then I want them to be best of 1. So like when I go to Jersey, then I love it when it's best of 1, because then I can drive 2 hours there and then 2 hours back and not feel bad about it. If it was best 2 out of 3, I would have to live 15 minutes from there, like I do with Kirwan Skater. So both players shuffling up now. Jamie's probably going to go first because he lost game 1. This kid needs to flip his GX marker back over. There we go. Jamie's a bro. He helped. So, I think the way Jamie can win this game is by his opponent not getting double Rare Candy, double Vikavolt. If he plays the game the exact same way that he did game 1, and this guy only gets 1 Rare Candy, 1 Vikavolt, it's probably going to be pretty even, and Jamie might be favored because he's going first. If he gets double Rare Candy, double Vikavolt, Jamie just gets steamrolled again and loses because none of the reduction ends up mattering. If he can get, I believe I saw the Duskmane Necrozma in his hand, so if he can get to a Beast Ring turn and just Beast Ring twice to one of those, and just like Sun's Eclipse, and then knock out after that, then that'll be a huge swing turn for him as well. So those are kind of the things he's probably thinking going into this game on what he wants to do. Unfortunately, the Fey blood runs through his veins, and he's just going to dead draw, probably. I'm just going to assume. He did draw pretty bad in game 1. He actually did play it really well, though, so he did get close, but like Rayquaza is just a threat, and the fact that Naganadel, just the way the deck is designed, Naganadel has to take 2 shots. That's just too slow for Rayquaza. Rayquaza is too fast, too furious, and it just like plows in. You ever like get really upset when there's a lot of snow, and then the plow trucks come through, and then and they don't really do a good job, like they don't get all the way down to the blacktop, and like it just gets, and then it like just refreezes and gets all icy, right? Like Rayquaza, he's that plow truck that goes all the way down to the blacktop. Like he knows, like he makes sure he gets rid of all that snow. He like plows straight through it. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, we're going home fast, boys. Man, I'm tired. Alright, so this kid is on 3 mulligans now. Jamie's going to want to take all of those because, you know, the more cards the merrier. Easier way to get set up. Fun fact with the Pokemon rules, when you do mulligans, you want to do exactly what Jamie's doing with the dice on top of your deck, counting how many mulligans your opponent did, because you are allowed to choose how many mulligans you take, but you have to declare that before you start taking mulligans, otherwise you're forced to take all of them. So like you can't just like draw a card and say, oh, that's the one I wanted, I'm going to stop taking mulligans, because no, that's like cheating. So he says, okay, my opponent got 3 mulligans, I choose to take all 3 cards, and then he draws 3 cards. He could have said, no, I choose to just take 2, and then he draws 2 cards and then finishes. If he were to draw the first card, and then his opponent mulliganed like 30 times, he would have to take all 30 cards. If his opponent mulliganed like 50 times, Jamie would deck out if he decided to take the first one. So he's smart, and he uses the die. So always do that. Always make sure that you're smart. So here he goes. He does the puts down Ultra Space. Ultra Space is for a Stakataka. I like that he put down the Ultra Space. I don't like, because he's probably going to play, so I think I remember this part. Because I did watch a little bit of the stream afterwards, so I think I remember what happened here. Because he's going to Cynthia, right? If he does, yeah. So he's going to Cynthia here. So that's why I don't like using the Ultra Space. Like, I like that he put it down, but I'd rather him Ultra Space after playing the Cynthia for the same thing as, like, Brooklet Hill. So, like, say you're playing, like, the Quad Baby Buzzwole Buzzrock deck, right? And you get the Rockruff with the Brooklet, and then play Cynthia, and then you get another Rockruff as your only other Pokemon off of that. Like, you could have waited. You could have Cynthia'd gotten the one Rockruff, and then used the Brooklet to get Diancie or something. So, like, you can always make sure that you get the card that you want. So, see how he only has one Poipole in play at the moment? So, like, I would have liked him to either, number 1, choose Poipole off of the Ultra Space, or number 2, if I were him, I would have played the Cynthia, then see if I drew Poipole or Stakataka off of the Cynthia, and then Ultra Spaced for the one I didn't get. So he ended up not getting either, so it didn't matter, but it could just potentially matter at some point in the future. So I always try to do it that way. So here we go. He Ultra Balls, discarding a Mysterious Treasure. So it's a little bit of a weird interaction. He's probably going to go for a Grubbin then, I guess, if he's just going to Ultra Ball away a Mysterious Treasure. Or am I missing something? He probably wants to Lily, but wouldn't you just want to Ultra Ball away 2 cards and then Mysterious Treasure another 2 cards, and then... Yeah, so he Ultra Balls for something he could have Mysterious Treasured for. I'm not quite sure what that's about. He's probably going to use Stormy Winds, isn't he? If he does, I don't like that either. I realize there's 3 Stakatakas in play, but just like 2-shot. Just take the 2-shot and then don't mill Rare Candies. Oh, and he Stormy Winds and discards 2 Rare Candies. So we're not going to see double Vikavolt this game, most likely. We're probably going to see 1 at most. It's going to be really hard to draw that Rare Candy now that there's 2 in the discard pile. Oh boy. And then he Lele Wonder tags for Lily. Yeah, so he still has 1 card in his hand and it's a Volkner, right? So, like, he could have Ultra Balled away the Volkner and kept the Mysterious Treasure. Then he could have Lilied and then used the Mysterious Treasure to get another Rayquaza or something. I don't know. It might be fine the way he did it. I would have liked to see the second Grubbin instead of the Rayquaza, especially since that would not have discarded him 2 Rare Candies. Because worst case scenario, like, you're going for the Lele regardless, right? So if you get 2 Grubbins in play, you still have Lele as an attacker. Like, never forget that you have Lele as an attacker, because it can still 2-shot things like the Naganadel if you just load enough energy on it. And they have to 2-shot you back. And then you have 2... this kid plays 2 Energy Recycler anyway, right? So he can just Energy Recycler all back in if the Lele dies. Here we see Rescue... yeah, so he Rescue Stretchers needlessly as well. So, the fact that he's not playing Rare Candy and evolving this turn because it's his first turn I would have held the Rescue Stretcher, because say you get, like, judged, right? Like, he has a lot of cards in his hand, right? He gets judged, the Vikavolt goes back into his deck. If he was judged with the Rescue Stretcher, every Rescue Stretcher copy in his deck is now a Vikavolt, effectively. So, it's kind of like the same idea as you Battle Compressor one copy of Juniper, so that then when you Shaman, you can draw a VS Seeker, and every VS Seeker in your deck is now effectively a Juniper. Say you only play a 1 of Juniper in your deck, and you mill it away with the Battle Compressor. Now all 4 copies of your VS Seeker are now Junipers. So it's like the same idea. So he has 1 Vikavolt in his discard pile now. He has 2 Vikavolts in his deck at most, and he has 2 Rescue Stretchers in his deck at most. Well, one in his deck and 1 in his hand. So he can hold that, and if he gets judged or something, that Rescue Stretcher is the Vikavolt, but now that he already wasted it, not only did he tell his opponent that he has Rare Candy in his hand now, but he also essentially wasted a perfectly good Rescue Stretcher. So, like, I still would have done it, I just would have waited till the next turn, because then it wouldn't have told my opponent any information. And, like, he didn't get any sort of instant gratification from it. Like, I'm a big fan of holding cards if they're not going to do anything for you at the moment. And Jamie, it looks like Jamie had to move his Pokemon in order to attack. So his best play was the Guzma. I would have liked to see if he had a switch, if he had something like that available to him. If he had Tate and Lisa, I would have liked to see that more so that he could knock out the Grubbin, especially since his opponent told him, hey, I have Rare Candy because I just Rescue Stretchered for Vikavolt. Like, if he had Tate and Lisa and could have switched and knocked that out, I'm going to have to look at Jamie's hand again. Because if he had Tate and Lisa, I definitely would have used that to switch and knocked out the Grubbin. Because then there's no way that Rayquaza can get loaded up, and then he's probably going to promote the Lele, you 2-shot that, and at that point you're already up 3 prizes before the Rayquaza deck even gets any energy in play, and you just kind of roll from there. So that easily could have won Jamie the game right there, knocking out the Grubbin. But unfortunately, he had to use Guzma, so if that's his only way to switch his Pokemon, I 100% guarantee with the play, just really puts him in a much worse position because he's not knocking out the Grubbin. But yeah, I mean, that play, like, literally screamed, I have Rare Candy in my hand. So that's asking for a judge, or for the Tate and Lisa, I'm going to knock you out play. So definitely wouldn't have done that. Never tell your opponent what's in your hand. He Ultra Balls, so he's got the Rare Candy Vikavolt now. He's going to Ultra Ball, probably get a Rayquaza. But nope, he gets a Grubbin because he only has 1 Rare Candy in his deck, and he's never going to get another Vikavolt into play, so why not get a Grubbin, right? It's not that bad. If he plays plays another Rayquaza, Stormy wins, attaches an energy from his discard to the Rayquaza. If he does have a way to get another Rare Candy Vikavolt later in the game, I agree with getting the Grubbin, especially since you want to be able to one-shot things later. And he's got 4 Stakatakas right now. That's reducing by 40. That's 2 extra energy you need to play. 1 energy is 30, and this kid's not playing the Devoured Field like he should be. So he can't do the extra 10 without the extra energy, so he has to do that. But this is where he's actually really smart, right? So I like the Grubbin play only because he just strong charged to his bench. If he strong charged to his active, I would have liked to see him get another Rayquaza, but this is actually much more of a smart play. He is going to Tempest GX because he knows this Rayquaza is going to die, right? So now he's only going to lose 1 energy, and he has a Rayquaza set up on his bench. He knows Jamie's not going to be able to knock out that Rayquaza on the bench because there's no way he can one-shot it. So that Rayquaza is on a ticking time clock right now. So he uses it to the best of his ability of using it, and use this as the Tempest to try to get Rare Candy Vikavolt. And then he can just, like, play another Rayquaza down, and he can strong charge twice, and he can just run through house. Unfortunately, I think it's really unlikely that we'll get another Rare Candy, but entirely possible as long as he didn't prize it. So, and it looks like Jamie attached a Beast Energy to his Naganadel. I 100% disagree with that. Uh, it is already, like, you only ever attach one energy to a Naganadel, because that's all you need, right? And you already have the knockout without the Beast Energy, so you attach that Beast Energy to the Stakataka on the bench that has an energy on it already. Because then that's one energy away from being able to Gigaton Stomp, that's one energy away from being able to Assembly GX later in the game. So you want to make sure you stack up those Stakatakas. You gotta stack them. Stack them. Yo, they're like Legos. They can stack on top of each other. It's so cool. You ever see the hats? They have plushies, right? In the Pokemon Center store. And you can actually wear them as a hat. So I was at like Worlds, right? And like everybody's wearing Stakatakas on their head. And I'm like, yo, that's so cool. Except I didn't actually realize that until after I left Worlds and I'm in the airport. And I'm like, oh, I should have bought a Stakataka. I didn't know there were hats. So Jamie takes a knockout with the unnecessary Beast Energy. We see Stormy Winds discarding 2 Vikavolts. So we're down 1 Rescue Stretcher and we're down 2 Vikavolts, right? So the only way for another Vikavolt to come into play is him to come into his 1 of Rare Candy that's left, and for him to come into his 1 of Rescue Stretcher that's left. If he's playing 2 Rescue Stretcher, which he should be because it's Rayquaza and you discard Pokemon all the time with it. So 100% think that Beast Energy needs to be on the bench. Especially since there's some likelihood that you can get knocked out this turn if the Rare Candy Vikavolt does come out. Let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Fails the second energy on the Strong Charge, it looks like. So yeah, he's not getting knocked out, so that's fine, I guess. But like Beast Energy, like 150 as opposed to 120 doesn't make a difference. So just hold the Beast Energy or put on the Stakataka. Ooh, he's playing the Circuitry. So Circuitry, I think, is a really good card in this format right now. A ton of good cards are all special energies. You see the Buzzgarb Shrines and Buzzweavile Shrines all playing Rainbow Energies and Unit Energies, especially the Caleb Getimer list only plays 2 basic energy, so the likelihood you're going to get a basic energy down is small, especially since not only do you need to get the basic energy to one-shot the Circuitry, but it also has to be on a Sledgehammer turn. Because it's basic, it doesn't like boost damage like a Beast Energy would. So it has to be on the Sledgehammer turn of 4 prizes, and you have to have it. Otherwise, you have to like 2-shot it, and then the Circuitry can just 2-shot you back. So Circuitry is like super good against against Buzzgarb Shine, right? So it looks like he Guzmas, brings up the Lele. I would have liked to see him bring up a Stakataka, because he's still at he is still at 6 prizes. So his opponent can't. So Jamie can't Beast Ring, right? Can't Beast Ring at all. It's not really possible. So Lele, he can just attach 2 ones and retreat. A fresh Stakataka can't retreat. It probably has like a 2 or 3 retreat. I would assume 3 because it's fat. Let me just double check. I have yeah, 3 retreat. So I would like to see him do that, and maybe bring up the other Rayquaza and just 2-shot it. But instead, he puts up the Circuitry and tries to wall out the guy that he put to the bench. It would be really cool if he could load up Circuitry too, because he could like 2-shot Lele, and then start milling cards from his opponent too. If you don't know what Rumbling Wires does for 2 lightning and a colorless, it mills the top card of your opponent's deck and does 100. Any attack that mills cards is good. I do use Stomp Off every once in a while with Trubbish. Rumbling Wires is pretty good to discard your opponent's cards. I had a Buzzgarb Shrine. I had a Buzzweavile Shrine opponent misplay his hand a bit, and then Macargo Cynthia to the top of his deck, and then I brought Rumbling Wires out of nowhere, and I milled him. And his Cynthia went in the discard pile, and then he just, like, he wasn't able to do anything. So that's how I beat Buzzweavile Shrine the 1 round. Alright, we see an energy recycler. So he's going to put, hopefully, 5 energies back into his deck. Looks like he only has 2, so I feel like that's a little bit of a waste. He's considering where to put it. He's going to put it to the active. That's good. Yeah, I want to see the rumbling wires. If he has it active, I want him to attack with it. So there he goes. So he puts 2 lightnings back in, takes one of them and a grass energy out of his deck, puts it on the tree boy. And he's probably going to attach a lightning from hand if he has it. Yeah, he has the energy in hand. So he can rumbling wires this turn, start milling Jamie out of some cards. Hopefully he can hit some frying pans and beast rings. Or no, I guess he already attached for turn. I must have missed him attached for turn. It was probably to the Rayquaza. So it looks like Jamie retreats, goes into the Naganadel with the beast energy that can't hit circuitry. So I guess he just doesn't know what circuitry does. I did actually teach this small child what circuitry does because I played him with Gumi. Gumi BDIF pre-rotation. Circuitry says that Pokemon with special energy cards attached to him can't actually do anything to it. So that's a little unfortunate for Jamie that he didn't know. So that's another reason the Beast Energy shouldn't be on the Naganadel. I 100% think it should be on that Stakataka. I'm sure Jamie's a little upset that he made that mistake. Unfortunately, things like that can happen. Maybe you don't realize that Circuitry has an ability written on it. You've never seen the card before. You don't know what it does. Circuitry is going to be a real problem for Jamie now. So Circuitry comes out with the energy on it, and he's going to rumbling wires this thing, but it's going to be reduced by 40. So he's only going to do 60. He's only going to do 60 with rumbling wires. That's insane. Yeah, and he's going to metal frying pan. Yo, what's good? So as you can see, Jamie's trying to think of a way out of this position now. Because he was in an okay position, even though there was a bunch of energies in play. But right now, so like, say he attached that beast energy to his bench, right? Then he can hard attach an energy now. And he could have the assembly GX loaded up. So he would be two-shotting with the Naganadel right now. He would take 2 prizes, and then he would be 1 energy away from Stakataka using Assembly GX and winning the game. So I actually think that if he attached the Beast Energy to the Stakataka earlier, he actually just would have won this game on either this turn or the next turn. I don't think there was any real way around this kid winning. Unless, like, the Guzma knockout came on the Stakataka with the Beast Energy, then maybe this kid could have won. Either way. But it seems like he's just happy right now attacking with the Circuitry. So that tells me that he doesn't have the Guzma play, because if you have the Guzma play, you go for it. Like, the Naganadel already has damage on it now, right? And you want to make sure they use 3, 6, 9. Yeah, he's doing 300 with the Rayquaza right now. So you just bring up the Stakataka with the energy and you bop it. But then again, if you do that, that puts you on Beast Ring turns. So Jamie can Beast Ring. So that's a little unfortunate. So it's a really weird position for both players right now, because they're like both still in this like super good. It's like completely even though there's so much energy in play on Rayquaza's side. Like, I still think Jamie can pull this out. So there he goes. He's going to attach an energy to the Lele. I do like this now. So this is really the only thing Jamie can do right now. Oh, he's got the Acerola too. I thought he was going to hard retreat the Beast Energy off, but no, he has Acerola. So he's going to Acerola, bring up that Lele. That's a super smart play on his part. But then again, if he had the Beast Energy on the Stakataka right now, he could actually bring that up and then hit the Circuitry. And then this kid would have to hard retreat the Circuitry. He would have to have Switch in his hand, which I don't think he plays because I haven't seen it yet. So his only like switching option would be Guzma, which you know he doesn't have because he would have played it already. He's just been using Rumbling Wires for a few turns, which is a very suboptimal attack. So I think that if he had attached the Beast Energy to Stakataka earlier, he would have been able to two-shot the Xurkitree or whatever else, be put in a really good position, and then he could Beast Ring into an Assembly GX, and then win. Because of that Acerola, it looks like this guy does get the Guzma finally. Or maybe he already had it and just didn't want to use it, because for whatever reason. So he Guzmas up the Poipole and takes the knockout while he can. It's really good that he goes on odd prizes, because then that, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, because he's still going to have the same amount of Beast Ring turns, right? Because he's going to take a knockout and then he goes to 3 prizes, and then that's still a Beast Ring turn. So yeah, that doesn't really matter. But that's a really easy way to knock out that Naganadel. I guess 4-shotting it with a Xurkitree wasn't good enough. So now he has to knock it out as a Poipole. Okay, so it looks like he attaches for turn. I also don't like that Jamie attached an extra energy to the Lele. I think he could have attached that to the Stakataka as well. Again, for the same reason, is that, so then what happens is he hits it for 100 with the energy drive while attaching to the bench. And then he can Beast Ring or attach to it again, and then take a knockout with the 120. Looks like this kid does play Switch. He has it. So that's a little unfortunate. So anyway, I think like just going heavy with the stack attackers right now would be the best play for Jamie if he has that available to him. But unfortunately, he didn't test a Beast Energy. Like, I'm just gonna keep coming back to that. I think that's like, it's like one little tiny thing that you think wouldn't matter that much, but it's huge. So now you see him put the Beast Energy down on it, and you see him use the Beast Ring. So he's gonna Beast Ring, and he's gonna hit this thing for 120. I really wish he had Guzma, because then he could have left that one on the bench. He could have Guzma'd up one of those Rayquazas that's on the bench, take 3 energy off of those while one-shotting, or while finishing the 2-shot. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the Guzma. I can see his hand. He does not have that. So right now, what he's doing is the best play. So he's going to hit for 150. I wish that those the Metal Frying Pans are a fun card, right? But I think Choice Band would just be better, because then with the Beast Energy, you can hit 180. And that would have been a knockout here. And then even if he's not able to Assembly GX, he would be able to follow up with another knockout, with another Stakataka. Also, he had a second Beast Ring in his hand. I don't know why he didn't play that. It was the Beast Ring turn, so he could have played the first Beast Ring onto that guy, and then he could have played a second Beast Ring onto this Stakataka that's going up now. And then he could proceed to take a knockout with that. So Jamie goes, nope, I have nothing, I can't win, and they say good game. Sorry, Jamie. He did get pretty unlucky. He played, I think he played game 1 super well. Game 2, there was just really just that one misplay, or those two, that and the not knowing what the Xurkitree did, which was really unfortunate. Unfortunately, you can't know what every card in this game does. And you can't always have a way around it. So since he already attached that Beast Energy, he really didn't have any options for getting around the Xurkitree, and then the Xurkitree just put this other guy in the position to where he could just win. So good job for Jamie. He did really well, even though he lost. Good job to this other kid for doing Rayquaza things and putting energy into play, because that's all that deck does. That's why I like it, because I don't have to think when I play it. I just put energy in play, and it does things. So, shout out for that kid for winning. Shout out to Jamie for trying with Beastbox. Beastbox, I think, is going to be really good someday. It needs to hit the right meta, and I feel like it's missing 1 or 2 like little cards that can be added to it, right? Like, I feel like there's another card that's going to come out that's Ultra Beast related that'll help. But unfortunately, I feel like the Beast block is done. Like Pokemon like tends to do things in sets. The next set, the next set coming out is Lost Thunder. That doesn't really have a ton of Ultra Beast support. And then you go right into tag teams. So I think Ultra Beasts are like done as a thing after that. They'll probably print more Ultra Beasts, but I don't know if they're gonna have like trainers and energy cards that support it from here on out. I don't know. But I feel like Beast Box is just missing like one tiny little thing in order to make it like one of the best decks. But I do really like it, and I mean, it got close to beating Rayquaza. Like, that's pretty good. So anyways, guys, I'll see you for next round. I believe next round is round 4, if I'm remembering correctly, which is my round on stream, so it's going to be a meme fest. It's going to be great. You'll really enjoy it, I promise. So we'll see you guys then.